This one's been a long day, kids. I ain't gonna lie. And I don't know if it's gonna slow down or if it's gonna take on a life of its own. Um, we are getting up to date information from what I can tell you are about as reliable sources as they come. And we have just received kind of a download from within inside close to this. I got to be careful because these people are talking, and there's a lot of people talking. Okay, every officer in the sheriff's department is talking. Every detective, CBI, FBI, everybody that was at that press conference that knows a little bit more than what they're telling us, every one of those people, the only way they stay sane, is to talk to people. Some people they trust with their lives. Sometimes it might be their wife they're sitting there telling a story to. Sometimes it might be their brother. It might be somebody that they've always talked to since they were a kid. It could be anybody. But right now in the sheriff's department, when you have a case like Gannon Stauch, there is so much information flying around like next to the water, for all intents and purposes, next to the water fountain, right? They sand around the water fountain. Who did you hear? They did a press conference, 50 cameras. What did they say? What did the information they give out, right? Then those people are going to talk to other people. So when I tell you that my information is credible, it's as credible as you want to believe. This is what we know right now. They arrested her at 8 o'clock this morning. They informed family within minutes of the arrest. I have it on pretty good authority that they informed family at about the same time I went live, because I sent a text to family members and my text reached family members at about the same time phone calls were coming in from law enforcement. They also informed family that there are people talking. They didn't give info on who was giving information. We had heard this through a couple of sources within the sheriff's department, but because the way they handled the press conference, I didn't know what was going on. But I do know now. And there is 100% a witness in this case. Whether or not the witness was involved, whether or not the witness, how involved the witness was, is, maybe, could be, I have no clue. But there are people that are talking to law enforcement that are directly, have firsthand knowledge, directly related to this case. Now, there's been all kinds of speculation on who that could be. Could that be the daughter? Could that be the sister? Could that be? I'll tell you what to do. Go speculate away, because I'm going to tell you what my sources have told me, and you can take it for what it is. They've told me someone is involved. They are being very, very, very tight-lipped on who that person is. I feel like I have probably one of the closest sources to this case out of anyone out there. And the people that are involved, that are talking to law enforcement, will be treated with the utmost protection. They are not leaking that information. I believe it is a female, and I believe it is someone that has firsthand knowledge of what took place. I can also tell you that with the same authority that I believe that, these same people told me they have not found Gannon. And so I know there's a lot of people spreading a lot of social media stuff out there right now saying this body or that body, or they have found this. The closest people I know to this case have said they have not found a body. And so we want to pray that the investigators continue to get information from the people they're getting information, and we want to pray that that information leads them to recovering Gannon Stauch. And so whatever you hear on social media, you have to take it from whatever source you want to take it. If it's somebody you believe and you want to get behind them and you want to, run with your speculations, you can do that. I'm telling you, if you follow Dad with the phone, if they find a body, if they find a body, I believe I'll find out pretty quickly. If they have made other arrests that have to do with this case, I believe I'll find out pretty quickly. I'm digging. I'm not telling you I'm not digging. I'm digging. I'm poking and prodding sources from here to freaking Kansas and back, everywhere in between. You got to understand that this is where I live. I dealt with this. I understand how this judicial district works. The people that are prosecuting this, and the law enforcement that's doing it. And so, I mean, the same faces that we went through the Patrick Frazee case were in that room today. So information is people they can't keep a secret. There is something within us. They want to let it out. And so as that information comes my way, I'm telling you, I got a damn text. My source is going to be like, damn it, did you have me on live? Because as I'm receiving text, as I'm talking to my sources, I'm setting up the live video to share with you. I don't have to verify, right? I done verified this morning at 8 o'clock. We verified this morning at 8 o'clock. My apologies. So as we get information, you might get information from me shirtless in the middle of the night. If my phone rings, let me tell you a couple of mistakes I made. People are not going to believe me, but at 4:30 in the morning, the day they were going to arrest Patrick Frazee, I received a text message telling me law enforcement was on the way. And I was like, yeah, it's 4:30 in the morning. I am not going to ignore anymore. And so there are people that have my phone number that are saved in my phone, that have my the ability to basically reach out to me 24 hours a day. And, we were following the Patrick Frazee case from the start. And, I learned a lesson. Sometimes these people who get paid to do this, man, I've been talking to all the reporters today. I have my business cards with me today too, because someone asked for them. Okay, that's another thing. And since I'm speaking of the Patrick Frazee case, and I got 1,000 people watching right now, if you followed me through the Kelsey Barrett case, I'm working with a network that's about to release a documentary on Kelsey Barrett. It's a full length documentary, going to be released on major networks. I was one of the producers reached out to me and asked about pictures of Kelsey Barrett. If you are a family member, or if you are a friend, if you spoke to Dad with the phone during the Kelsey Barrett case and you have, personal pictures of Kelsey Barrett and you want to help someone tell the story of Kelsey Barrett, to never let that story ever go silent, so that people will understand and understand the craziness that went down with that someone's life could have been saved had a woman spoke up, had multiple people spoke up that knew about the murder, that knew about the planning and the murder of Kelsey Barrett. There's going to be a story told nationwide, that I'll be featured in it. A lot of my footage will be featured in it, but it'll be on your televisions, it'll be on your streaming networks and all of that. They're looking for pictures of Kelsey Barrett to help with that story. So if you have access to pictures and the people who took those pictures, message me on Dad with the Phone, and we'll go from there. I'll get you in contact with these producers, but that's just a quick deal that came up today. I actually got an email from that producer, and I thought, well, I'll do it on a live video, but push that out right now. If you're new to Dad with the Phone, stick around. You may love me, you may hate me, you may not agree with the things I say. It's okay. I try to bring, we're following this Gannon case all the way through. I'm stuck. I'm hooked. When you sat in the room today and listened to a mother's plea, I said yes. When she said, don't let the story of my hero die, I said yes to that. When she said, don't let anyone ever forget that my son is a hero, I said yes to that. So we're following that through, and you can follow that through with us right here on Dad with a Phone. You can find me, if I don't start crying, you can find me at all the links below. We're going to follow this case through, whether you may get something on TikTok that you don't get on YouTube. You may get something on Facebook that you don't get on TikTok or YouTube. My Twitter is Michael E. Dalton. That's me. That's the real me. That's not a fake me. That's not a pretend me. Dad with the Phone is just a name, but Michael E. Dalton is me. If you want to know more about me, I suggest you go watch the thousands of videos that you can find online, YouTube, Facebook, all of that. You'll find something you don't like. You'll find something you get mad at. Again, I may wake you up in the middle of the night. So if you want to know the breaking news in Gannon's case, if something else comes out, if another person leaks a little information, if somebody says something at the water faucet in the sheriff's office, we got our bugs there. I ain't even trying to pretend. I got rats that I let loose in the sheriff's office today just so I can get information. And so we are not going to try to interfere with this investigation at all. And so there is some information you ain't going to get from me. There's some information I'm holding back right now. But I can tell you this. Someone else is talking. They got a witness. They got a witness that has firsthand knowledge of what happened. They have not found Gannon Stauch yet, but they ain't stopping searching. And I think there is a very strong possibility that they are going to recover Gannon in this case. This is me talking to you, just me talking to you. I think there is a very strong possibility. This person did not come forward 3 weeks ago. This person came forward hours before they arrested. When I went to bed last night, the ink hadn't even been signed yet. When I woke up this morning, the signature happened from the judge. The arrest happened at 8:04, and we reported it to you right about 8:15. The ink hadn't even dried on that arrest warrant when we told you. So make no mistake about it. Could be in the middle of the night. I may throw something your way. Hit those notifications. I don't need your follows. I don't need your likes. If you want to go over to Facebook and review me and tell me what you really think about that dude who reported shirtless from bed this morning, God, I can't believe I did that. And people who watch Dad with the Phone know that my daughter could have been running in there at any point to wake me up. She could have been coming in the live. I've done lives from that exact bed before. It just happened. I'm sorry if I offended you. It kind of offends me. And so be careful. I'm having more information. Okay, I gotta be careful what I say because some of this stuff. There's information coming in, and I don't know. I haven't verified this one yet. I don't know if this is social media or if this is. I know this is social media, but I don't know who's reporting this. That's the problem. Let me look at this. I just want to look at who's reporting this real quick. You gotta be careful with these freaking. The stepmother of missing Colorado boy Gannon Stauch had been arrested for a string of crimes in 4 states under 3 different names before her arrest on Monday on suspicion of murder, criminal records show. Letitia Stauch was even sentenced to prison after one arrest and has been convicted of charges including battery, grand theft auto, making threats, and domestic violence, according to the documents. Letitia was arrested on Monday in Myrtle Beach on suspicion of first-degree murder in relation to the tragic disappearance of Gannon Stauch. We do not believe Gannon is alive, said officials 5 weeks after they first began to search for an 11-year-old. Letitia was reportedly the last person known to have seen the boy, saying he left the house through a side door on January 26 to go visit a friend. She was charged with suspicion of child abuse resulting in death, tampering with the deceased body, tampering with evidence. Police had never named her as a suspect prior to Monday, and she herself claimed to have been cleared of any wrongdoing by law enforcement. She had not been cleared, however, and while police were working to extradite her back to Colorado, they have sealed the indictment filed in this case. The latest charge caps off a lengthy arrest record for Letitia that goes back 2 decades. Letitia Harden was an accomplished student who was frequently named to the honor roll and excelled in extracurricular activities when she was first picked up by police. It was soon after she graduated high school in 2001 that she was arrested for stealing a car in North Carolina. This was reported by the Robesons, reported at the time that she was found guilty of felony larceny, which was reduced to a misdemeanor, unauthorized use of a vehicle. For that offense, Letitia was sentenced to 45 days in jail, but given credit for time served. She was also put on probation for 18 months in order to pay just over $1,000. The same year, she was also charged with communicating threats and simple assault, but those counts seemed to be dropped as part of her deal with prosecution in the felony larceny case, court documents show. It was also traffic offenses that got Letitia picked up in Virginia a few years later, but she was able to get off after paying a fine for these minor offenses, according to court records. Her next arrest was in 2010, by which time she was going by Letitia Hunt. The newly married teacher, who had graduated from Liberty University by then, was cited for domestic violence and domestic abuse in Ouray County, South Carolina, court docs show. That is the same county she was arrested in on Monday. Those charges were eventually dropped, and there is no online record of the court filing. The clerk of courts of Ouray County did not respond to multiple requests for comment over the past week. Letitia Hunt began going by Tisha soon after that arrest and eventually got a job teaching in South Carolina. It was not long before that job led to problems between Letitia and the school district. However, when she abandoned her position, Letitia left her job at one school just 2 days into the school year without any warning or notice. An email sent 2 days later, Letitia claimed she left after being subject to bullying because the district superintendent was the uncle of Gannon's mother, Landon Hoyt. Hoyt. I don't know how to say her last name there. Hiott. Hyatt. Hyatt. She had married Gannon's father, Eugene Albert Stauch, by then, a little over a year after divorcing her first husband. It was the second marriage for both husband and wife. The South Carolina Board of Education investigated the alleged harassment and retaliation campaign and determined Letitia's claims were unsubstantiated at a hearing. That investigation also found that Letitia had breached her contract by abandoning her post, and the board ruled to suspend her teaching license for 180 days. The order of suspension handed down by the South Carolina Board of Education states that Letitia signed a contract in 2015 with the Marin County School District. She then attended the 5-day training program for the district before starting her job as a middle school social studies teacher. According to the order, 2 days into the school year, Letitia stopped showing up for work. In this email, Mrs. Stauch indicated that she left the district because she experienced harassment and retaliation after requesting to be released from her contract. Due to the pending military move, which she claimed had been denied, she also alleged that the district superintendent's niece was her husband's ex-wife and that the harassment and retaliations were due to this relationship. She threatened to file an EEOC claim unless she was released from her contract. The harassment and retaliation claim was investigated and remains unsubstantiated. The Board of Education ruled that Letitia had breached her contract. This is credit to the South Carolina Board of Education. Calls and emails went unanswered until 2 days later when Letitia claimed that she had requested a transfer and was being bullied by staff. In the email, Mrs. Stauch indicated that she left the district because she had experienced harassment and retaliation after requesting to be released of her contract due to the pending military move, which she claims had been denied. Reads the Board of Education filing on the matter. She also alleged that District Superintendent niece was her husband's ex-wife and that the harassment and retaliation were due to his relationship. An investigation into these allegations failed to subsequently even one of Letitia's claims according to the order. The case file also states that Letitia threatened to file a complaint against the district with the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission if she were not let out of her contract. It was the district who ultimately filed the complaint, though ruling that Letitia had abandoned her position and breached her contract. The decision was also based on the discovery that Letitia had accepted a position in another school district as well that year, the order states. As a result of the breach of contract, the state suspended her education or certificate for 180 days. On her LinkedIn profile, Letitia claims to have gone back to work after the suspension and worked as an educator specialist for the state until 2018. The Board of Education confirmed this, saying that Letitia took a job in Dorchester County in 2017 and the following year in Berkeley County. She was certified to teach elementary school, special education, and secondary social studies Colorado as of March 2019, but is unclear if she ever began at any school in the area. She wrote on her LinkedIn that she was working as a curriculum developer at School District 49 in Peyton, but there is no record of her having been employed by the county. So there's a little breakdown from Letitia's background. They arrested her today. They put her in handcuffs. This woman is about to be extradited from South Carolina back to Colorado to the 4th Judicial District to face charges of first-degree murder of a child. Got more news coming in. Whew, my goodness. What y'all saying? Will media be covering her hearing in the morning? Can somebody send, let me look that up. I can't understand. She has a bond hearing. So this is what's going to happen. She's either going to report by video and somebody may be in here. There are people right now I know watching from Ouray County. I don't know if they have, she's going to a bond hearing, but they're not going to issue it. She's being held on a no bond. So there's not going to, I don't know what that hearing other than a lawyer saying, this is what you've been arrested for. You're being held on no bond with an extradition back to Colorado. At that point, they may ask her to waive her right to extradition, which would mean they would extradite her without another hearing in South Carolina. Or they would say, she may say she wants to enact that right to fight extradition. At that point, they would set an extradition hearing to then have to deal with that. So the bond hearing tomorrow is almost a formality. And so I don't know. I'm sure without a doubt there's going to be press from South Carolina there. If there's a dad with the phone who's going to the bond hearing and you want to partner up with another dad, hit me up and I'll boost your page. We'll watch your videos or whatever. The press sometimes doesn't put it out. It's the bond hearing is just a step in the process, somebody said, but you have to understand that step has already been made clear to us. She's being held without bond. She's being held on first-degree murder charges out of Colorado. They are not going to give her a chance to bond out, bail out. She ain't calling Bobby Brown. Ain't nobody coming to her rescue. Shit. I unplugged my microphone. I don't know if y'all can hear me back. Let me see. Camera mic settings, audio settings. Hopefully we're back. Oh, man, has it been that the whole time? The camera mic? Jeez. Yeah, it'll be a video hearing. She's waiving it. I don't know if she's waiving her right to a bond. She has the right to contest extradition is what someone is saying. She definitely has the right to fight extradition. Let me tell you what happens when you fight extradition. You're going to get a bumpy ride to Colorado. It ain't going to be fun. If I was her, I would make a deal with the DA. Let me tell you what that deal would be. You give me a flight back to Colorado and I'll waive my right to extradition, which means she'll waive her right to fighting extradition. If she fights extradition, the DA is willing to say, oh, you want to play hardball, do you? We're going to give you a bumpy ride back to Colorado, and they will shove you in a 15-passenger van with plastic seats and gates and chains on the window. And you'll eat fast food and McDonald's, and you'll get to see the countryside. You'll get to sleep in little county jails as they pick up transportees across the country
to bring to Colorado, or to maybe they're taking them out to California. You might get to smoke a cigarette or two even. You'll be sleeping on the shoulder of another convicted, sentenced, already headed to trial, maybe headed to DOC. Who knows who you'll be sitting next to? And better yet, who knows who you'll be sleeping next to? Because your drivers have to sleep, and they get put up in hotels while Tisha, you get to stay in some of the dirtiest county jails this country has to offer. I'm glad you ran off about as far as you can run to the ocean, because if they give you that van ride back through extradition, and promise you this, if you fight extradition, when DA Dan May wins extradition, he will fly out to South Carolina first class on the airline. He will fly back after he wins extradition first class to Colorado Springs. And honey, he'll book you transport in a 15-passenger van because he just took your plane ticket. So if I'm Tisha Stauch, I'm already starting to deal with the DA. I'm getting them in the dealing mode. And I would say, listen, I'll waive my right to extradition. Put me on a coach ticket with some U.S. Marshals back to Colorado and spare me the countryside view of the 15-passenger van stocked full of criminals sleeping in small county jails. How'd y'all like that for a little rant? Because that's what that woman has to look forward to. This is not going to go fast. Could take 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Colorado doesn't have to extradite her in any timely manner. It is all up to her. If she waives her right to extradition and she works a deal with the lawyers, she may get a flight back. But I can promise you this, Dan May will only start protecting her when she gets here. Now, this is going to be tried in an entirely different setting than the Patrick Frazee case. This is going to be tried in the El Paso County Jail. This is our El Paso County Courthouse. Much different courthouse than what you're going to be used to going to in the Teller County Courthouse. This is going to be a newer courthouse. It's going to have cameras. It's going to have a Sally port from the jail. If she has to be live present in jail, she'll be live present in jail. Some of the arraignment may take place via video, but when it comes trial time, there's a very good possibility this trial will be televised. This courtroom is set up for it. The courthouse is set up for it. Dad with the phone will be there as long as I can. So, boom. Y'all got a little extra out of me tonight. Let's see here. Yes, this is the one in Colorado Springs. What did you say? Are you charges pending against anyone else in this case? Is there talk of another arrest? Rebecca, if you're just joining, I'll let you in on this. There is someone else involved in this. Whether they're marked as a witness, whether they're marked as an alternative suspect. At this moment, I can tell you with 99.9% certainty, there is someone else involved in this case. Those people are talking to law enforcement. How those people are involved, whether they had prior knowledge, whether they had active knowledge or after knowledge of what happened, and they came forward. I know that they only came forward just yesterday. So this information is yesterday old. It was today executed. And tomorrow, friends, hang the gone, because who knows what's going to happen. Yesterday, I'm sitting on a live video making cracks about the coronavirus. No joke. You can go watch that video. Today, this morning, I woke up breaking news shirtless from bed. So if you want to know what's going to happen tomorrow, all I can tell you is tomorrow will take care of itself. because it's coming. The sun's got to go down. Ain't no rest for the wicked, that's for sure. What else? Someone said her sister is involved. Mary, someone said, that's all I got for you. I can tell you what law enforcement is. I can tell you what the golden snitches of the El Paso County Sheriff's Department are saying. Michael, someone else is talking. Michael, we ain't going to tell you who that is. Okay. Enough said. Enough said. Someone else is talking. There are reports flying around that there were women arrested in South Carolina that may or may not be related to Tisha. I don't know. This woman's got names all over the damn country. So who knows, right? What I do know, they made an arrest at 8 o'clock today, 8:04 Mountain Standard Time. I know I was live at 8:15 Mountain Standard Time, and it's 10:15, and I should go to bed. So that's what I know for sure. I think it could be her daughter. If you're asking me my professional dad with the phone opinion, for whatever that's worth, I think it's a very big possibility it's her daughter talking. So whether or not her daughter, whether or not it's her daughter talking willingly, whether she was spoke with, I do know that statements she made are going to be used against her. They arrested her on that. They've sealed the arrest affidavit. We've seen this. I'm telling you, Dan May is warmed up. Okay, he warmed up. All right. Now this is going to be tried differently because it's a child, and I'm going to tell you right now, they may kick everyone out. They may kick everyone out of the courthouse. They may be able to kick everyone. Dan May is Wild West as they come, folks. And depending on the judge, depending on what happens, depending on, how many of you watch Dad with the phone, they may shut this thing down. They may say no Twitter, no live feeds, no video, no nothing. We're going to be there along the way. That's all I know. You don't deserve anything, Star. Get that through your mind. If you think you're going to start deserving something, they'll pull that shit right out from underneath you. What case is he talking about? Look up Kelsey Barrett, Patrick Frazee. We followed it all the way through. It's just going to be same guys are trying this, by the way. Now, Mike is the new DA in town. He's the new gun in town. Now, Dan May is still the DA in charge. Dan May is still the boss. Dan May is on his way out in 2020. 2020 is Dan May's last year. The guy who's head over this, the guy who's overseeing this, the guy who will prosecute this if it goes to trial will be the new DA in the 4th Judicial District. So he's the new guy. He's the new gun. He's the new Dan May. Dan May's out. Not because Dan May hadn't done a good job. He's up. His term is up. It's a new election. It's an election year. He can't run again. He can't go. He can't keep going. He can't keep putting people in jail for life plus 156 years. Trust me, he's going to make sure Tisha Stauch goes to prison for a long-ass time. I promise you. I don't think Dan May made a mistake with KK. I think the devil hired a damn good lawyer. Dan May didn't make a mistake. The devil hired a good high-dollar defense lawyer that played the game perfectly. KK helped with the murder of Kelsey Barrett, and she's going to be out of jail next year, folks. She's out of jail next year. That's some BS right there, though. That's some real BS. Someone asked if anyone knows all her names and aliases. Somebody wants to get the shit going in the searches. So if you know the names that I just read off, I'll read you a couple. She's gone by Letitia Stauch, Letitia. Let me see here. No, that was the other. That was her mom. That's Gannon's mom, Letitia Harden. That's her original name, Letitia Harden. Then she went by Letitia Hunt. Then she went by. She changed her name to Tisha Hunt. Then she was married, and it was Letitia Stauch. So there's you a couple of names. Looking at all the officers and the people involved speaking today, she's going down. They had every law enforcement agency in Colorado was in there. Now, the ones that surprised me the most were the wildlife agents, the National Forest agents. These are federal agents. You got to understand something. These are not, these are Colorado wildlife officials, but they are jurisdictioned as federal agents. You had FBI in there, 100% from the Denver office. They spoke. You had 100% CBI was in there. Slater, Adams, a couple other guys from the Kelsey Barrett case were in the house. There was a handful of people that I recognized off the bat from Kelsey Barrett's case. So lots of law enforcement, CBI, FBI, Colorado Springs Police, Douglas County Sheriff's officers, El Paso County Sheriff's officers. I think I covered them all. Wildlife agents, lots of law enforcement. I wonder if Gannon was insured. I don't know. I wholeheartedly believe Harley is a victim. It's very possible. I saw that profile, Peyton. I don't know much about it. I can't tell you. I don't believe all these groups. There's trolls everywhere. Some of y'all probably trolls. Hey, thanks for joining. I'm going to bed. We'll see you guys. Who knows what will happen? Find me on all the links. If you want to throw a little money in the hat, you can throw it at the PayPal. I already put a link up to where you can donate directly to Gannon's family. If you want to donate directly to Gannon's family, you can go find that link on Dad with the Phone. Did a live video earlier about that. That money will go directly to Gannon through a church. Have nothing to do with that. It's the only one that I'm promoting, but because I talked to Landon and she told me that's where people can give. And it has nothing to do. They're not asking for money. It's just that sometimes people want to give. Just like sometimes people throw money in my bucket right here. Sometimes people want to give to victims. It's how they deal with it. So don't get upset if people want to give, whether they give to Dad with the Phone, whether they give to the Gannon's family, or whether they give somewhere else. Let people do what they want to with their own money. So there you go. We'll talk to you guys later.